I, lady, have a masculine card to share with you tonight. Okay, I'm just going to pop, sorry for the wiggle here. Just get my phone in. So this is the card right here. And it says, "You're plain awesome." And I think this is like a perfect Father's Day card or birthday card. And there's something neat too here about the ribbon. We're going to design our own ribbon. So this is using the Vintage Tools set in the Stampin' Up catalog from this year. What I really like about it is some of the sayings: strong, solid, dependable, you're plain awesome, making play on words of the wood plane, build in some time for yourself, which could basically be used for any of the stamps. You're all that and more, and it's your day. So this card, I used this stamp set, as well as I used the deckled rectangle dies, which are new in the annual catalog this year. And what's kind of neat about them is that they do, if you want to do layering, it does allow for that, because you can see that there's a whole series of them here that gradually get bigger. This is the one I use. So it's fourth from the smallest. So in this case, I actually cut two rectangles the same size and then just kind of staggered them. Okay, so let's get started. So I don't tend to do a ton of very vanilla cardstock, but I just thought because kind of the wood plane and thing kind of has, I don't want to say more of an antique-y kind of feel, but I felt it was more antique-y, a little bit more old school than a power tool. So I went with the off-white look. So I actually created my own designer series background or paper here by taking all of the tools that came in this set and stamping them as close as I could on the background. So I stamped these with soft suede. Okay, so then after I have that background stamped, which I'm not going to do on camera because it's not hard to do, but of course, if I was going to mess it up, it would be on screen. So I'm just going to put just a bit of regular adhesive on the back there. And then I have a second vanilla piece here that I'm going to put adhesive in for the inside of the card. So the dark brown is early espresso. Okay, so now I have inside and outside of the card done. Oh, I got a smudge there. Well, the good answer here is with stamping. So if you get a little bit of a smudge, the fabulous part is you can just put a stamp over that to hide the smudge. I was trying to decide what color I wanted to use. Decided I'm going to use the darker one, the early espresso. I'm just going to stamp that there in the corner. And then I'm going to put my strong, solid, and dependable on the inside, just like that. Okay, so I have the outside stamped, the inside stamped, and now I'm going to grab out those two rectangle pieces. So lost all my little vanilla rectangles here. Where did they go? Just going to pause this for a second. Okay, I found it. Okay, so I have, as you can see, as I kind of said, two different rectangles, two of the same size rectangles in different colors, the very vanilla and then the crumb cake. So on this one, I stamped "You're plain awesome." But I think on this one, I'm going to do "build in some time for yourself." So I'm going to stamp that in the early espresso and at the bottom here. Followed then by, I'm going to put the big hammer. So I'm going to set that aside to just dry for a moment so I don't smudge it. And the next thing I'm actually going to stamp is the ribbon. So this is, again, I saw this in a little corner of the catalog, and it's the natural finish ribbon in the catalog this year, but you can stamp it. So I thought that was such a neat thing because we stamp paper or vellums, all of those things, but I don't think I've ever stamped ribbon before. And because I feel like it has a bit of a masculine feel. Okay, so it's all stamped. Like, that was super fast. So now I'm going to take and put some adhesive on the back of the very vanilla piece. I'm going to take my natural ribbon and just fold it in half, kind of spreading it a little bit at an angle at the bottom so that you kind of, when you flip it over, you see both sides, like it curves over. You can tell it's been a busy work. I don't have a lot of words left anymore. So the one thing I do find is with my ribbon, my one trick always is I don't want it to slip. So what I tend to do is I tend to take some dimensional. So I put it on with some adhesive on like that. Now I'm going to be putting this onto dimensionals onto my next piece. So then I'm going to take and put some of those dimensionals so that they're giving that lift, right? Because they're the foam with the adhesive on either side. But then they also help to keep my ribbon in place. And I just find that little bit of extra just prevents anything from ever falling apart. Okay, so I have my vanilla piece with my ribbon behind it, and I'm going to adhere this to the crumb cake piece, leaving an edge on the right-hand side. Now you may ask, like, you're like, Christine, you showed me that these actually are all different sizes. But I found that if I went to one that was rectangle on all sides, then I hid my really neat paper from behind. So this was an instance where I wanted a little bit of contrast. That's why I did them the same size, but I just didn't want it to be such a large rectangle behind to hide the really neat stamped piece that had gone to so much effort to do. So from there, I just put regular adhesive on the back of the crumb cake piece, and I'm going to kind of stick that in the bottom right-hand part of my card. And that's it. Build in some time for yourself. Strong, solid, and dependable. That's a wrap. Okay, hope you like this card.